Hello everyone, it's me, Tyler Nestor. Like always, sorry I haven't been making videos lately. Like always, I've been busy. But yeah, let's get down for today's question of the episode. What is your top 5 most anticipated movies for this year? This is 2015. It's one of the most anticipated movies. It's one of the most anticipated years of movies in history. I can see why. I mean, a lot of big movies are coming soon. But now, just remember what. Leave your answers in the comment section below. Like, you should know. But here are my top 5 most anticipated movies, and I'm telling you now, they're not all blockbusters. A couple of them are, and you'll see why. Well, I won't say you'll see why, but you know. Number 5 is the Peanuts movie, coming out in November of 2015 by Blue Sky Studios. I mean, Blue Sky Studios, I love. I loved the Ice Age, I love all 4 Ice Age movies. I love Robots. I love Epic. I kind of like Years of Hope, but Rio, I can't stand. Neither a sequel. Hopefully there won't be a third one. No offense to any of you Rio fans out there. But Blue Sky Studios is fantastic. I love them. I just can't believe Nostalgic Critic can't stand them. I don't know why, but that's not important. So the Peanuts movie, I didn't fully grow up with Peanuts, but I still love them. Even if, no offense to Liv Benamor, I hate Lucy Van Pelt, and I do hate Peppermint Patty, they're still likable. So technically, in a way, all the characters are likable. But there can be times where some of them can be unlikable. Not just Lucy and Peppermint Patty. There are times where Linus is unlikable, and I will admit, around the 50s, Charlie Brown was kind of bossy. And for any of you hardcore Peanuts fans, you would agree with me. I think. But anyway. So Peanuts, I love. And so far, the movie looks fantastic. The trailers, the people behind this film are making the movie stay true to the comics and specials, and I love that. The only 2 things I can see that don't really seem original. Well, not even say don't seem original, but seem more modern. Is the first thing is the pop song in the trailers. It's okay. I mean, I've never heard of the song, which I like because most of the music today is terrible, but you know, and. The second thing, I don't know if this is really modern. I mean, I don't know if anyone can tell me where it is in the comment section below, that'd be great. That we actually look at Snoopy's imagination, like we really take it to a new level, where we actually see how Snoopy actually fly up in the air. We actually see the Red Baron. We actually see Snoopy try to shoot him down. But yeah, it's the Peanuts movie I love. Well, so far it looks fantastic. And my dad, he loves Snoopy. He's his favorite cartoon character, and I can see why. So, that's number 5. Number 4 is Steve Jobs. Now, let me tell you something. I love Apple, but I'm not a completely retard Apple fanboy. I'll admit I fucked up in the past, but I will admit, I will be one of those rare Apple fanboys that will admit that Apple has done some jack shit in the past. And I will admit that but I'm more than capable of loving, the thing is, I love a lot of other companies. The only really company that Apple's really rivaled with, I really can't stand, is Samsung. And you can see why, for all the shit Samsung has done to Apple. But anyway. Steve Jobs. So far, I haven't seen any trailers or pictures or anything, and there hasn't been a poster, not even a logo. But I've seen the story, I've seen the cast, I like Michael Fassbender. I liked him in X-Men, although I've never seen Prometheus. But it looks great so far. So far, technically. It looks great so far. And Seth Rogen being Steve Wozniak, I think would be great. I like Seth Rogen. Now, I will admit I've never seen the interview, and I don't think I'm allowed to, despite the fact that I'm 17. Stupid, right? Besides, unless if someone can tell me otherwise, I think the only thing that really considers the interview controversial is this has to do with North Korea. And I learned enough from North Korea, as I know they're a communist country. They're one of the only communist countries left. But anyway, back to Steve Jobs. It looked great. I love Apple. and it's great. I love Apple. I didn't always love Apple, but the first time I first heard of Apple, I was blown away. The first thing that really blew me away about Apple was the iMac G3 a long time ago, back in my elementary school, from my speech teacher, Mrs. Morris. If you're watching Mrs. Morris, hi, but I doubt she will be. But when I first used the iMac G3, I had no idea what it was, because I wasn't really the brightest kid, and because I have autism, and I was blown away by how great the games were on the computer, and I loved it. But then years later, when me and my mom were watching News 12, and we were watching, I know we were watching News 12, sadly. You know how I hate Ultimate Cablevision. But we were watching that News 12, and I saw something about the iPad, and it looked really cool, and I wanted it, but Mom said we couldn't get it. And I could see why, because it was expensive. And for all you Apple haters out there, there's a reason why Apple makes expensive stuff. But I'm not going to get into it, because I know you asshole Apple haters are just going to give me bullshit on the comment section, so I'm not going to say why. But anyway, Steve Jobs, I love Steve Jobs, and he was an asshole for a reason. He wanted innovative products. He was bossy because he wanted innovative products. Not just for the sake of being an asshole, it's to have innovative products. I will admit he disowned Lisa, and I'll admit that's cruel. But that's because he was getting way too much into Apple. And, you know how business goes. Some of you might know how business goes through or whatever. And I did see this Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs. Not that Ashton Kutcher made it, but it looks really good. I find it underrated. The only reason why I see Steve Jobs, that movie, being hated is because people say, "Oh, they made Steve Jobs a saint." They did not. I saw the film, and they did make Steve Jobs look like the asshole he was in the 80s. I know. Trust me. So anyway, number 3 is Avengers Age of Ultron. No surprise, right? It's one of the Avengers, the first Avengers, back in 2012, is my 4th favorite movie of all time. It's my favorite superhero movie ever. And you can see why. I mean, it's really intense. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really great. Agent Carter was great, and hopefully it'll get renewed for a 2nd season. Didn't burp. Anyway. So, the Avengers Age of Ultron, I've seen the trailers, and I see the poster. Even the poster seems a little lazy. The trailers are fantastic. They are really epic. And I love I can't wait to see this, and I know I will see this with my family, because the tradition we always do with comic book movies for the past few years is go to movie theaters and see them. We go out of our way to see these movies. We've done it with Iron Man, we've done it with The Dark Knight Rises, we've done it with The Avengers, obviously, we've done it with Man of Steel, and yes, I like Man of Steel. Don't judge me. So, Avengers Age of Ultron looks fantastic. I can't wait for it. Number 2 is Goosebumps. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a kid's movie. Well, just remember, I have autism, so don't judge me. But I remember when I first read Goosebumps, I loved it. I used to play with them all the time. Don't ask why. I was stupid. But I used to read them and play with them. Mainly just read them. I used to read Goosebumps all the time, and I loved them. R.L. Stine's one of my heroes. I love R.L. Stine. I even once met him, and when I told him if there was going to be a Goosebumps movie, he said maybe, and I remember reading that he felt pessimistic about the film, because I could kind of see why, because, the economy is terrible nowadays, like, if that has anything to do with anything, but whatever. So, but I've seen the story, I've seen, the story's great, the cast is great, mainly, and the logo looks pretty good. The only problem I have with Goosebumps is the director. I can't stand Rob Liefeld. He's done Shark Tales, which I mostly hate. He's done Gulliver's Travels, the adaptation, which really sucks, and then he's done one of the biggest atrocities I have ever seen in my life. Monsters vs. Aliens. I freaking hate this film to the very end. I can't stand it. What makes it cringeworthy is kind of like how Rob Walker considers Mamma Mia. I honestly don't know, except for the fact that I just consider it disgusting and completely unfunny. I remember back when it came out, I refused to see it, but that demon out there, my little brother, forced me to see it, because if I didn't, I'd be bored at home. Now, this was before we had the Wii U, the Wii, even the Wii. This was before we had those, and the PS3. We just had the Nintendo 64 and the PS2, and most of the time during weekends I was bored. But, so I really had no choice, really. And I remember, I just couldn't stand the film, and I should have stayed home after watching it. I knew it was gonna suck, for me. So for Rob Lennerman to do something like Goosebumps, he already trashed Gulliver's Travels, and he's already done the atrocity that's Monsters vs. Aliens. And another sort of atrocity, which is Shark Tale, which is decent at some parts, but it's just really bad. But yeah, ow. So yeah, I'm just nervous as hell. I'm scared because I don't want Rob Lennerman to ruin Goosebumps like he ruined Gulliver's Travels, and I don't want him to put in so much toilet humor like he did with Gulliver's Travels. Anyway, and then now come to number 1, Terminator Genisys. Now I know what you're all thinking. Oh, the film's gonna suck. Really? Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Because you know what? I remember the first time I watched Terminator, I loved it. And I watched the second one, I loved it. I watched the third one, I loved it. And the fourth one, yes, I loved that one too. I consider the third one sort of underrated, because I still consider the 3 underrated, but I consider the fourth one completely underrated. Even my big brother Patrick can't stand it. And yes, I've heard of Christian Bale's rant, which I will agree Christian Bale was being a dick. He was being a dick, but you have to admit, the director of photography wasn't really doing the best job. But he didn't deserve to get shouted at. I mean, I'm just glad that guy had a lot of patience, because if Christian Bale was yelling at me, I'd be off the walls. I'd be losing it. I'd be outraged at him. I'd literally try to punch Christian Bale in the face if he was insulting me like that. Not saying I did it, but you know. So I consider Terminator Salvation underrated. Even Patrick hates it, but yet he loves modern SpongeBob, so he really just shouldn't be talking. There's really no reason to hate on Terminator Salvation. The war was too quiet. Really? That's really bullshit, because it's not supposed to be full-on blast every second. Besides, not insulting Terminator 2 or anything, I love Terminator 2. It's a classic, but when it showed the war there, mostly it didn't really show that much action. In fact, the Terminator didn't show as much action either. It showed, well, during the war, not the whole film period. Trust me, I've seen the films and I love them. But and besides, for all of you saying, "Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't in Terminator Salvation," that is one of the biggest amount of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. He was the freaking governor of California at the time. He couldn't be in the film. So everyone that's insulting Terminator Salvation for bullshit, back off, because it's a great film. But anyway, I'm excited for Terminator Genisys. Arnold Schwarzenegger is another one of my heroes, and I've been hearing recently that he's been a douchebag. Yeah, give me a break. I'll admit what he did to his wife was terrible. But that's really the only bad thing I can think of that he's done. That's nearly nothing as bad as what Kanye West has been doing, Chris Brown, Miley Cyrus, Amanda Bynes, especially Justin Bieber. Those 5 people are messed up now. They are completely messed up now. They really are. So for all of you to insult Arnold Schwarzenegger like that is bullshit. Sorry if I took way too long on this. I just wanted to get it out. So yeah. Next episode will hopefully be shorter, at least, if I can think of any other questions. Bye.